Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to a live stream. It's been a long time since we last did one of these. I think it was October. So yeah, for those of you who didn't see my Discord post or YouTube post from a few days ago, this is going to be a conversion critique video. I asked you guys to send a few of your conversions in, and I will be going through them on stream. I will be doing a little bit of feedback to help you guys out, see where you can improve, and yeah, hopefully give you some guys' advice. Now, before I begin, I just want to say a big thank you to Blue the Magician, who became a member. Thank you very much. So I'm going to quickly jump into the chat, but first I'm just going to pop the link into the chat just so that everyone, let me make sure this is actually on the full one, so that everyone can see it. So if you haven't done so already, this should give you, let me just find this URL now. I'm also very prepared. Okay, let's put that in the chat. Over on Twitch and also on YouTube as well. So if you have, if you haven't had a chance to look at that, then be sure to fill it in. You can fill in some information. I have had quite a few responses. I might not get through everyone in this stream. I'm hoping to give like at least a decent amount of time to everybody. And it's going to be about an hour and a half, see how it goes. If you're a YouTube member, if you're a patron, then you guys will get priority. I'll jump to you guys first. Also, if anyone decides to be so gracious to donate to me on the stream, the super chat or something, then I can do that as well. So yeah, if I don't get it, if it doesn't work, if I don't get to you, then we'll do another one, and so don't worry. Right, okay. So we've got a few people. Kabuski is over on Twitch. We've got Ben Ives. There's a few familiar faces that I see in here. So yeah, it's good to see everyone. I should also note that I actually I'm just enjoying this nice cup of tea. Everything tastes better out that mug for some reason. Look at that. It's got proper merch and everything now. I think I'm not sure what the date is, but if you are a subscriber on Patreon for so long, then you'll get one of those mugs, which is a nice little bonus. So, right. So let's get this started. Hopefully this works okay. And I'm just used to doing kit bashes. So let's see if I can actually do a stream where I talk about something else. We're going to start off with the first one of my patrons who decided to submit, and that is the Grim Iron. And they've given me a little bit of context for the conversion. I'm going to get it on screen now. Hopefully this works. Let's go. We got it. There we go. Okay, so this here is, let me just get this information on the screen so I can read it out. We're being very organized here. Right, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so we have the model here. You can see this is a custom chapter tech marine for the Iron Vipers, a heavily bionic chapter fixed on scavenging Xenos tech for Belisarius Call. So yeah, this is so they're looking for both advice and criticism here. So I'm going to try and do everything as fairly as possible here, because at the end of the day, you guys, some of you guys are going to be at different levels. Some of you guys are going to be brand new to conversion and kit bashing. Some of you are going to be doing it for a while. So I just want to make sure that I'm gauging that feedback accordingly. I think I just did see something on the chat. Yep, my shield is discussed. $4.99. Thank you very much. Love your conversion, guys. My conversions are in the form of Instagram videos. Hope that works for showing on the stream. We'll see. We'll see how it works. It might not work, but it's fine. We're all friends here. Okay, right. Let's go. So this model straight away, we can see that it's been based on the Tech Marine. It's a very nice kit to begin it with. Nice use of chains on there. We have also this kind of very grim little corpse that's being pulled from this little tank. I'm guessing it's tank crew body of some arms. Very good use of gore there. We have a little bit of OSL license. I'm not going to focus too much on the painting. Conversions mainly, but the painting is quite nice here, very grim dark. Lots of dead animal bits on the base. We all know that it's going to go really nice and well. So I'm quite impressed by the sculpting of the hair. Hairs can be quite tricky. I would say that maybe if you wanted to improve that a little bit, then you could maybe. It looks like you've kind of. It's hard to tell from the picture, but maybe you've just applied smaller strands to it. So sometimes when you're working with green stuff, you're better off applying it in layers when you're doing hair. So you would apply maybe the sides first, and you would scour those out, and you would give them a chance to dry, and then you would do like the top bit there as well. So it can be quite tricky. So well done for giving that a go. You've done a good job there. But yeah, definitely try and maybe work on that sculpting for the future. The chains look good, and yeah, it's just a nice kind of straightforward conversion. It has a lot of character. Yeah, good start to the stream, I think. So who do we have next? Let's just switch over to this, just so we can go through, not reveal anyone's personal information. So next up we have 40k guy. So let's see here. Let's get this image up first. So a lot of these I'm actually looking at the first time. These are as new to me as they are new to you guys. So this one here is from 40k guy, and let's get this up so you can see it. Okay, there we go. We have, so this is a tech priest for an admech / Tau army borderline heresy, and they want to help with the arms. So the left arm isn't, the arm that's actually there isn't attached. And so, okay, we're looking for basically some kind of inspiration as to where to go here. So I do look quite like this kind of tech priest with the Xenos technology. It's been something I've been meaning to do myself for quite a while, so it's quite nice to see someone doing it. I like the drone there; it's very nice. So yeah, you're looking for some advice about the arms. So I'd say you're going to want to go with an axe there. I think giving this guy the pulse carbine, it doesn't work very well because it kind of makes this model look a little bit too much more generic. It looks more run of the mill. You want something to stand out. You want a more dynamic pose, a more imposing weapon. So maybe go for the original Tech Priest axe and swap out the head. Maybe swap it out for the staff top from the ethereal, the plastic one. That might be a good way of keeping on theme, but then also giving the model a little bit more of imposing appearance. So that's where I'd go with that one. Other than that, a really nice start. I like how you've attached the drone there as well. So let's see. Just to chat before we bop in to the next one. Okay, so if someone asks in the chat where they can submit it, then I would really appreciate if someone could just like pass over the link. I'm going to drop this in, so I'm going to assign somebody a job here to do this. Shit, that's not the right one. Okay, let's just drop this back to here, and I'm going to pop the link in there, and I want someone to be a guardian of this link. So if anyone needs it, then should be there. Cool. Right. So that sorry. Let me get this up. I need like 4 monitors for this. There's a lot going on here today. Right. Okay. So that was 40k guy, and just tick that off to make sure I don't get too far. So the next items that we have, and unfortunately Google Forms hasn't really given this an easy way to do this, so I'm just going to load up these images straight away. Some really nice conversion work coming your way, guys. There we go. Okay, so the next person that we have is Berserker. Now, Berserker is somebody who, if you stay and watch to the end of my videos, you'll recognize Berserker as being one of my top patron supporters. So big thank you to you. And we're going to be looking at three images of 2 different conversions here. Quite nice as well, actually. Okay, let's drop it in straight away. Okay, let's zoom this in a little bit, guys. So we have here a nice Age of Sigmar conversion. We have a nice little combination of Corn and Death, and obviously these are the Morghast, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like it created like a sort of centaur using the Mortarch's mount. It's quite a nice little Kragnos theme there. We're going for the wings as well. So yeah, it's working really well with the whole blood effect, and you've gone for the big kind of cornate staff topper as well there as the weapon. Yeah, I think in terms of the actual conversion works really well. It gives me vibes of like an undead or chaos, like dragon ogre, something like that. So it's definitely on theme with what we've already seen in both Age of Sigmar, and I'd say even maybe like a Zote or something for 40k. So yeah, it's a really nice combination. The bone motifs for the undead stuff works really well for Khorne. There's definitely some good options there. I'd say that the only thing that I would have done differently, but I guess the reason why you've done it is to make it easier to hold the model aloft. And I imagine those little bits of plastic are probably doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Is I would probably have attached the wings, maybe to the back of the torso. I think it's obviously like you've gone for like a Pegasus vibe here, and a lot of this is going to be just subjective. Some people prefer it your way, some people prefer it a different way. That's fine. I personally would have gone across the shoulders because I think it gives it a little bit more. It kind of helps to tie the model in a little bit better. It makes sense in terms of like the arms. Anyway, I'm kind of nitpicking this because it's actually a really nice conversion. So good job on that one. You also submitted another one. I believe it's the same image, and yeah, so we have a Dark Apostle here. You did actually provide me some information there, so let's see if my has been correct. Okay, Beefier Chaos Lord, yep, and Greater Possessed sitting around is hard to carve. Yeah, so. Yeah, I can definitely see where this torso's come from. So you've done a really nice job. The bone motif works really well. Obviously, this Dark Apostle, then it kind of has that vibes. I know you're going for a Chaos Lord vibe. I think it works really well for something like Word Bearers. Let's just see. Did you mention the chapter? No. Wanting to read as a former Night Lords Marine who had signed up for the Black Legion may repaint the faith. Okay. Yeah, I think in terms of the actual the pose of the model, it works really well. You've obviously got that kind of flaming book, and his head's facing the right way. It does give it a lot more of a chaotic vibe, having those bones across the chest, and using the Greater Possessed does work nice as that. And you've incorporated it into, I believe the legs are probably the Dark Apostle legs, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember off the top of my head. What else have we got? I think we've got a picture from the back here. Yeah, so we've got some. You can just see how well it works. I mean, the fact that you've managed to keep the main kind of structure of the body. This is one of the things that I always like to try and achieve with my models, is to make them look like they're not actually conversions. If you can make it so it looks like it's an actual kit, then you've done the right job, in my opinion. But yeah, we've got a really nice combination of the actual torso here with the arms and the legs. So good job there. I imagine that's probably quite tricky with that kit being basically single piece. So very nice. I'm enjoying these so far. Really good effort, guys. So whilst I get this next one up, let's have a quick look in the chat. Okay, so we've got so I just kind of want to make sure that everyone who does submit, I'm gonna just keep updating the form. So if you are a YouTube member or anything like that, just make sure you tick that little checkbox and just fill in what your name is. I'm trying to get through everyone. We've done 3, and I did have a bit of a ramble there. So okay, right. Let's get the next one up. The Boba. Oh, so someone's asking the Boba Fett helmet there. So it's a it's the Hasbro. It's the Black series. It's quite a new one, actually. I think it came out in like just a few weeks ago. But yeah, I've got my little collection over there. I've got the Lego Slave one. I've got the Razor Crest as well. So yeah, it's my little Star Wars shelf. Blue the Magician. Okay, I'll make a note of your name and I'll drop that in. Let me just update my document and we can make sure I don't miss you Where are you now? Oh, there's a lot of you guys have really done a good job here. Okay, let me just get this back again so I can make sure. I don't think the response. Yeah, the responses have gone up massively since I pulled the document. So let me just pull that back out again and make sure that it's up to date with everyone who is. Okay, yeah, so we've got quite a few here. Okay. Right, I'm going to go for the next one because he's just kind of just watching me. You're looking confused at my monitor. So let's go for the next one. So let's mock Berserkers is done. Well done, Berserker. Really nice couple of conversions there. Okay, so next up we have a few pictures from someone with probably the best name ever. Painting Peter. So us Peters have got to stick together. Okay, let's grab. You sent quite a few images, so I think a few of these are from the same. Okay, let's get a couple of these up, and then we can start showing everyone. Oh, you've got some work in progress pictures as well. Yeah, so if you guys are doing any like work now, then be sure to leave me your work in progress pictures, and I can kind of see how you built the model and then what it looks like when it's finally completed, because you can usually see a little bit more and drill down into the model. So we're going to start off with the work in progress pictures first. We've got two of these. This kind of really nice, let's see how it's been described by the creator. Okay, so I was just reading. Sorry, I do apologize to Berserker. I was reading the wrong. I was reading the wrong description there. This is the trouble with using Google Docs. So this is the Night Lords kind of turned over to the Black Legion. Use the possess. I can see the possessed torso there. I think the other one must use the possess there. Maybe I was wrong. We'll see. Okay, cool. So Berserkers was just for everyone's notice. It was a Dark Apostle of the Dragon Warriors Warband, and he had Black Dragon's gene suit, which explained the head. Very nice work. Anyway, right. So this one. So this is the Chaos Lord. So straight away we can see we've got a few different options, a few different components that are being used here. We have some components from the Raptors. For the jump pack, and also I think there's that Huron Blackheart specific jump pack. I think it might be. It looks familiar. I can't remember off the top of my head. We also have what looks like a Death Guard arm here. We have some Raptor's legs, and let's just switch over to this one. We also have a nice little bit of sculpting work in there. Also good use of repurposing old models as well, because sometimes I have a few old models and you just kind of want to just chop them up and rework with them again. I've found that it's usually quite helpful just to, if you're doing that, just to try and strip the paint back. It'll just make it easier to work with, and you're not going to kind of be painting over paint that you've already applied. So just keep that in note for the future. Some nice green stuff work though. This cloth looks very ragged and haggard, and cloth can actually be quite difficult to get with green stuff in terms of these like nice flowing motions. So really good effort there. So let's have a look at the painted model. So here we have it all painted and everything come together. Definitely have the Night Lord's vibe going on here. I can see a little dead animal bit at the back. A blood letter skull from the Citadel skull set. But yeah, we have this like little bit of flayed skin. Definitely works for that whole. Hang on, is the torso, the legs aren't actually raptor legs. They're greater possessed legs, aren't they? Because you can see the claws here. They've come on the other images. Yeah, you can definitely see the claws there. We have the bolter. It's a nice. I like the fact that you've kind of gone for extreme weapon loadout. There's lots of skulls as well. I like this kind of skull motif. I think you used this on one of my conversions. I can't remember exactly which one it was now, but yeah, that was quite a nice conversion. That is. Right, let's go to this one. Okay, so yeah, again, the hair's nice as well. I think hair is also always one of those tricky ones because you've also got the pipe. Hair is one of those tricky ones because you have to deal with going for something which is in an area of the model which is very obvious to people. People always look at the faces, so if you've got to get it right. You can't kind of get away with it being on the shoulder or behind it kind of hidden, but on the face everything's very prominent, so everything you have to do has to be a lot more careful. You need to spend a lot more work as well. I'd only say, I think the only criticism I have here really is, I think it's just, you've definitely got the pose right. The pose is really nice. Everything's composed really well. I think it's just a case of cleaning up. Just tidying up those things just to make it look that much better. Just little things like here. I do believe those are still present on the main model. Yeah, so you can see the little bits there. And that'll just make all the difference. Just make sure all your parts are as clean as possible. The chains works well though. I do like the chain. Can't remember if that's part of the model or not, but yeah, it works quite well. The chain over here, it blends into that quite nicely. Yeah, I can't quite see the bolter from this angle, but also nice little scenic base as well. Okay, very nice. Enjoyed it. Okay, so next up we have right, so let me just switch over to the image and let's bring up the next person in my list. Mark that one as done. Okay, so we have Louis-Math next, and we have two submissions here. So we have a Primaris, and we also have a bike chaplain to complete a Ravenwing force. So we've got a couple of nice little bikes going on here. So I'm going to open them both, and let's just close these off. Get this next lot up. Hopefully that works. Oh no. Okay, that's me. Okay, finally worked. Right, so that's the first image. Let's get the second image up. I probably should have downloaded these. Probably would have made a lot more sense. And that's the third one. Okay, so the first thing that we have is from... So we have a Louis-Math here. Now this is a conversion for Sigmar, I believe. This is using some of the Alaris Custodes bikes. It's a nice kind of option there. Very, I've seen quite a few of these conversions. It works really well for this kind of thing because you've got that big Aquila on the front. It really fits nicely into the Dark Angels aesthetics. Let's close that. And yeah, you can see the way, obviously it's quite Custodes. I mean, it's hard to see from the chest just there, but I think you've gone for also nice little use of, quite like the inclusion of the heavy plasma cannon there as well, and the little blending of this Dark Angel symbol. So yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, you have used a Dark Angel's torso, and that actually fits quite really nicely. If you're looking down here, you've got this kind of cloak that's flowing out behind, and that actually blends in really well because you've got this tabard effect. The helmet as well, looks like you've gone for a bit of a custom job on that too. You've gone for what looks like a resin, probably a forge wheeled helmet, if I'm not mistaken, and you've added some of the wings on there. Yeah, it looks really well, and you've got the book as well. The Ravenwing accessory sprue is a really nice sprue, and I've said it on a stream before where I was kind of worried that we would stop seeing these custom kits, these kits specific for the chapters like we used to get. We used to get like the old Space Wolf sprue, and then we just kind of, when we switched over to Primaris, we started just getting those little mini upgrade sprues. But then obviously Black Templars came out, and we had some, we had the Sword Brethren, we had the upgrade sprues. So yeah, the really kind of nice direction. I hope that all the other chapters will get the same treatment eventually as well. You can see here, I think this is from the, I'm guessing this is from the Devastators. I recognize this little piece from one of the backpacks, and yeah, I think you have that. It's quite nice. You've blended everything in. I'd say that the only thing I would say, everything's really is done really well. You can see the wire down here. Is I would just maybe work on just smoothing this out. It's hard to say because it's not painted. It could be that once it's got paint on it, it's not as obvious, because I believe that looks like a maybe a milliput. You've used some green stuff down here, which is, yeah, I just maybe just try and neaten things up. That's all. It's not too big a deal because it's at the bottom. But yeah, he's done a really nice conversion job there. Vehicles can be quite difficult because you can't rely on these organic shapes. Everything's got to slot together and look like it was built. So props for doing that as well. Yeah, really nice effort on that one. I think you did also submit another one, I believe. It was a biker. Let's just switch over to this and get those up. Couple more images. This is a very nice conversion. I'm liking this already. This is your, let me get the description up. Why is that column so wide? It doesn't need to be. Okay, where are we? So a bike chaplain to complete a Raven Wing force. Dark Angel's aesthetic, yeah, definitely in leaning into that knightly aspect that you're looking for. Yeah, so I'm guessing this is the chaplain on bike, the Primaris chaplain on bike. So yeah, you've definitely kind of chosen the better option there. The regular Outriders aren't. Having done one myself, they're not super easy to convert. So again, anything that you use vehicles for is very difficult. So yeah, very good choice there. I also use a Loris Custodian Lance as well. Wargaming Painter, thank you very much for your €2 submission. Everything is massively always appreciated when you guys submit, so big thank you to that. Okay, yeah, I think I really like it. This one is very structured very nicely. You have the really nice big pauldrons there. We have, let's see if you've managed to do this. I think it's hard to see from the pictures, but yeah, I can't really tell from the right arm. It's hard to tell from the right arm, but I'm not sure if you've used a Loris Custodian arm here or if you use a Chaplain Biker. It kind of looks like the Chaplain Biker's got this little metal bit here, and this side looks like it might be the Loris Custodian arm. And really, I mean, if that is the case, if it's not the case, great. If it is the case, I would say that would be my only critique here. I like the use of the little raven there as well. But yeah, I definitely think that there's some really nice. It works really well. It has this really nice presence. The lance works well with a bike. It kind of has that winged hussar appearance as well, especially with the raven wing detailing at the back. I can see a few more of your other models at the back now. This is the sword I've used as well. It's a nice little component that one is. So yeah, I think definitely really nice use of these little iconographies just to kind of really push home that Dark Angels aspect. And also the head is from the new Primaris cap, the one with the big shield that came in Indomitus. So yeah, good use of the components there. Yeah, really nice work. Right, so let's have a look. Virtus Praetor, yeah, the Alaris Custodians are the big Terminators, aren't they? I don't know why I got confused with those. This is the trouble with Games Workshop naming conventions. Everything's like Us and Praetus and Alaris. Yeah, so Virtus Praetor. So thank you for correcting me. let's just have a look at the chat, because I kind of am missing these things for a little bit. No, we've got some people in here. Let's just block these. I'm going to block them on YouTube. There we go. Okay, we don't actually have any mods, but I mean, if anyone would like to volunteer for mod duties, then that would be great. Because I'm kind of looking at these models here, and I can't just keep looking at the chat to kind of make sure that we're not getting any spam bots. Anyway, okay, so let's go for the next one. Let's just switch over to this, and then we're going to close off these tabs. We're going to do a bit of housekeeping here. So many tabs. I genuinely need about another 3 monitors here just to get everything in one picture. Okay. Those are done. So next up we have Matt Hoffman, and Matt Hoffman has brought us a bring up those images. Okay, so I did actually set up my little stream deck here, so I think that this is the one. There we go, perfect. Okay, so we have Matt Hoffman's submission here, and this here is a custom Inquisitor idea, and wanted him to be a monster. Let me just grab this because I cannot read this at the moment. Let's do word wrap. So you're inspired by my custom Inquisitor idea. Yes, I can definitely see some basis there. You wanted him to be a monster hunter of the Ordo malleus, which I believe are the kind of the Grey Knights Ordo, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, you've based it on, I can definitely see the Sisters of Battle legs there. And you've also gone, the spear arm are from the Caradron Skywarden's kit, and the power pack needed to be cut down. Have some gap filling with green stuff, and ultimately being attached upside down from how it was designed. So you're looking for some advice and critique here. So let's kind of go through this. Smilomaniac, 100 DKK. I have no idea how much that could be. That could be £1,000. That could be a penny. I have no idea. But thank you very much. All the same, it is very. Actually, it shows up on the bottom there. Wow, I'm really glad that converts it at £11.18. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we have this audio malleus Inquisitor here, and let's just break down some of the parts that we've got here. So we have, I believe this is one of the Tempestus Scions. We also have the Tempestus Scions arms here. The weapon, what is that weapon used from? I recognize it. I actually can't place that weapon. I recognize it, but I can't think what it is from. Interesting. But yeah, so I quite like how you've managed to incorporate this kind of lance here. You've gone for the whole thing. You've even had a little bit of those like little Tesla bits at the end as well. Arc pistol from the Admech. Yeah, I thought I recognized it. But I think... yeah. It's one of those things that kind of... Which kit is that from? It's the Atari one. Okay. You learn something new every day. Okay, so yeah, I really like this weapon. The kind of the gloved aspect and kind of having that. I mean, sometimes having these weapons where they are, what's the word now? Non-symmetrical, asymmetrical. That's it. So sometimes having asymmetrical models works really well. I think for this as well, with it being like a weapon, it's almost like that hand has been maybe specifically armored in a certain way. It works really well for these kind of Inquisitor models because they often are a little bit more haphazard, a little bit more unique in appearance as well. We've got the helmet as well. Oh, it's a nice little touch. I would say that, I mean, I really do kind of applaud you for kind of going out of the normal realms here and using these legs. I think there may be, I think maybe it's possibly that they're not quite bulky enough. That's my only concern with them. I think in terms of the armor styling, it works really well. But yeah, I think down here you start to see these very kind of like slim areas. It ends up making the model look very top heavy. But I mean, apart from that, I think you've gone for a Khaine Overlord backpack there as well. But yeah, I think the posing is nice. You've kind of really lent into that kind of. It almost has this kind of aloof air where he's not really. He's just kind of shooting stuff. He doesn't really care. Anything that's coming at him, he's just dealing with it. It's a nice pose as well. But yeah, I'd say the only thing is the legs. In terms of how you could improve those, if you still wanted to use the same legs, then you can maybe look at maybe bulking them out a little bit with some green stuff. You can maybe kind of add a little bit more cloth around those areas to kind of draw attention. The biggest part is here though, in my opinion. So if you could kind of maybe take out this kind of this shapely calf here and just make those a little bit more solid, then that would really help to combine the top half of the model to the bottom half of the model. So right, okay. Yeah, that was all 3 pictures, but yeah, I do like this little detail as well. So yeah, that's it's a really nice idea for a really nice combination of components. Though I do like the use of the Khaine Overlords kits. It's not really something I've lent into much with my human characters, but I do think they have some really nice, interesting close combat weapons. They work really well for 40k because they have that steampunk in industrial stylings. Okay, let's go for the next one. That was Matt Hoffman. And next up we have Naaman Almore. Just the one image this time. Let's drop this up in there. Okay, so there we go. Okay, it's very small this one is, guys, so just bear with me. I'm going to try and zoom in a little bit just so we can see that a little bit better. So yeah, so the intention here was I've seen Traitor Ultramarine by Diego Gisbert. I wanted to make a group of Renegade Space Marines, mainly using Loyalist bits while upscaling them. Okay, so we're looking for both advice and criticism here. So yeah, you've really gone for you've kind of thrown yourself in at the deep end here by going for like a full resculpting of that torso area, and that's very brave. I will definitely give you there's definitely props for doing that. I mean, it's one of those situations where it can be quite difficult to do those kind of things. I'll just zoom that in a little bit more as well. So hopefully we can. There we go. So I can definitely see where the parts of the body are. You've obviously got the upper legs. You've got the belt area. You've gone for this little middle section here, and you've helped to blend it in. But I think what you probably need to do is just to kind of try and rely on the models themselves to actually give you the structure. And then use sculpting where you can. I think you've also used milliput as well, which I found great. Milliput's great for building up structure in models, and then you do all your fine details and green stuff. So if you look back at my Viacos Dynasty Vengorian Lord, you can see on that model I used milliput there to build out the musculature in the back and across the shoulders. But then I built up fur on top of it using green stuff because it has a lot. It can take a lot finer detail, and it helps to avoid this chalky texture you can take. But yeah, I think that's where you need to go with this one. I think it's definitely you can see where you're kind of learning the sculpting details. You can see the markings and everything that you're doing there. I'm guessing you learned a lot with this model, but personally, I wouldn't attempt to do a full resculpt. I would just do a as little resculpting as possible. Lean more heavily into components, even if you have to get Primaris legs and chop them up and then just fill in the gaps with green stuff, then that's what I would do there. So yeah, hopefully we can see another attempt in the future. That'd be really good to see as well with anyone as well. If you guys decide to do anything differently than this, then after submitting, then I would love to see like a follow-up and maybe just include those original pictures, and then we can see everything, like your progression for everything. Okay, so let's just switch back to the image. I think this is the right one. There we go. Let's just check these buttons. Okay, I just wanted to check the buttons because I'm kind of having to go back to my main screen just to check something. Okay, so that's Nathan Elmore. You have been looked at. Next up, we have Krista. And Krista is looking for both critique and advice. And we've got 3 images, so let's have a look at these 3 images. Some really nice, interesting work here, guys. Let me tell you. Let's get rid of that. Zoom and reset the position of everything because I had to move everything around. And then if we go to that, there we go. Let's move this down a little bit. Perfect. Okay, so we have here is a Keeper of Secrets in motion, pulling off her mask / face. The main issues I'm having are getting the hand to look like it's actually gripping the mask and it feels like something is missing, especially around the head. Still need to clean up the green stuff and fix the base. Any help is appreciated. And please do a tutorial on how to paint a pearl finish so I can get her skin done. Okay, so we've gone for quite a big conversion here. These are always really nice and interesting to do because you have such a big model. You can really get those details down, and because it's over a larger area, you can help to blend everything out. I just noticed, just looking at myself in the camera, I've got really bad posture. No wonder I get a bad back sometimes. And sit up straight. Okay, so yeah, I really like the face. The face is very kind of demonic, very Slaanesh. It's kind of straight off what you'd expect to see when that mask is removed. Obviously, the whole aspect of using a mask with Slaanesh works really well. We have a character called the Mask, so yeah, you can see another angle here. I really like these little tendrily bits. I can't tell if those have been. I'm guessing that those are from the ghosts, the spirit hosts, whatever they're called. The ghosty things. Ghosty boys. There you go. We all know what's going on. Yeah, it's really nice. I kind of have this. You've also gone for like the resculpting in the legs as well. Again, so this is kind of where I was making the point last time. When you're trying to do reposing and things like that, you want to use as much of the original kit as possible, and you only want to rely on sculpting to fill in the rest. Unless you're a really top tier sculptor, then sculpt away. But if you just kind of you can do conversions. Let's just zoom this in a little bit. Quite a nice quality picture this one is, so we can see here. So I'm guessing you've like used a different material here, and then it's hard to tell what material it is. It looks very smooth, so maybe it's too smooth for Milliput, but yeah, you can see the difference here where we've got something which is like a structural, and then you've kind of followed the contours of the arm down here like that. We have a reposing around the wrist. Yeah, so you're kind of wondering about how this mask can be attached. And is there another image? Okay, we've got one more image here. Yeah, so things like this are quite difficult to do because you have, you kind of have to think about how the hand grips something. It contours around it to form a grip. So when you've got something which is more of an open pose, it can be, unless you literally have an exact object to hold it into, then it can be quite tricky. So what you might be best doing, it's hard to see from these images, but you see how you've got this kind of forefinger and the thumb. It might be better to kind of focus on those. So rather than the mask being pulled away in that sense, it's kind of being pinched away as such. So that might be a little bit easier because you can just basically bring in that thumb and bring it around to the finger. You might have to remove it and sculpt it, but it should be no different than some of the sculpting you've already done there. bring that round and kind of create like a pinching, and that should work quite well, because if the fingers are out there, that's fine. It just looks like it's being dainty, which kind of makes sense for Slaanesh. So yeah, good effort. Cool. So let's go for the next person, and we're going to hit that button there because it's a lot quicker. What time is it? So we're on 45 minutes already, and yeah. So this is the thing, guys. I'm hoping to run these fairly regularly. I want, because I do get a lot of submissions. I get them in messages. I get them on Discord and things. I don't always have the time to just go through and sit down and look at them. Let's have a look here. So yeah, having these kind of situations is it's just a really good opportunity for me to just kind of go through, have a look at some of your guys' work, see what you guys are doing, and from there we can have these maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, depending on how many I get through and how many submissions I get through. Because I mean it's 45 minutes so far, and I've only got through 11 submissions, so it might take a while. I have about 80. Okay. Anyway, enough waffle. Let's look at this beautiful Dark Angels Raven Wing Biker. So this is really nice. It's not something that I tend to do, having these little vignettes, but it works really well. You've got the bike there. You've also gone for a lance, which works really well, from Virtus Praetor. So I got their name right eventually. Yeah, I think the torso, if I'm not mistaken, is that the Dark Angels Lieutenant? I think it is. And then you've used an Eliminator's binoculars, and I think the head is the one from the character, isn't it? The captain, the kind of character captain kit that I used as a base for a conversion a while ago. So this one, oh, should also mention, this is the person who this actually is, Aquelin. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, really nice work on this one. To be honest, I'm finding it difficult to find fault with the conversion. You've done a real bang up job. You've got the bolts, the plasma rifles there instead of the bolters. I like how you've gone for the wings as well. I mean, I went for them down here, and I think this is like to be honest, I actually prefer this way. It gives the model more of like a winged appearance. But yeah, really nice work with this one. The painting's really nice as well. Yeah, I actually think it's really, some of these I don't want to just nitpick for the sake of it, but I mean this one is quite difficult to do because it is, if I was going to build this is pretty much the way I would have gone with it. Definitely. Is that a Mark III shoulder pad there? If it is, that's even better. It's just elevated. You've used a Mark III component. Mark III components and dead animal bits. Beautiful. Okay, thank you, Aquelin. So, who have we next? Nope, mark that as red. Okay, hit the image. Perfect. So next up, we have Thomas Gallinari. Thomas Gallinari has sent a few images, so let's make sure we get all of these in so we can look at them. We have a squad. This is the first squad of the evening. Okay. So here we have Thomas Gallinari's, and this is a process of a Black Templars army with only converted models. I want them as grimdark as possible. For me, it means big weapons, terrifying helmets, and badass poses and skulls. Okay. Let's have a look at this one here. This is the full unit of them. See, this is very much in my wheelhouse. So this is the kind of stuff that I really like. Full squads, lots of chains there. You've even got these little skulls as well. This is nice. I'm guessing you've got some third-party components. I can't quite. I think they look very similar to some of the stuff which. Oh, Liber Demonica do. I'm not sure if it is Liber Demonica, but it looks the kind of the color of the resin and the style looks very similar. They do really nice ornate shoulder pads. Have you used some Banshee swords here as well? They're really nice. They actually work really well. I like this kind of guy who's just got the two poses, just there, just chilling on a dead termagant there. Very nice work. This guy here, huge mace. That's from a Dark Angel's kit. Definitely feeds into that grim dark vibe that you've got going on there. Let's have a look here. Let me get the chats. I keep missing the chats. Okay. Yeah, so this is yeah, I mean you've got a really nice kind of combination. I think this is the librarian base, which is the Phobos one, if I'm not mistaken. It kind of looks like it. It's hard to tell, but this cloak definitely looks like the Phobos variant. Maybe it isn't, but have some classic Black Templar components there as well. This is, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the axes from the Skull Crushers of Khorne. And we also have some Mark III power packs there as well. These are just like, yeah, everything here is very much in line with what look at this banner. This is amazing. This is really nice. We've got not one but 3 banners in one here. This works really well for kind of a chapter H. It definitely fits into that kind of classic over the top, the kind of artwork that you see. And you've even gone for Primaris as well, which is you often have these kind of clean lines with Primaris, so you've gone for these raggedy banners. Let's see, I quite like trying to guess what these are. I think this banner here is from the Beasts of Chaos. I think it's from the Gore set, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong with that one. It looks familiar. Maybe not. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. This one is from the Ogre Kingdoms. I think it's from the Ogre Kingdoms Bull. We have a skeletal torso, some Black Templar bits. Yeah, really nice. We've got another picture as well. Yeah, look at this guy. Some 3D printed components there as well. Lots of skulls on the top. Spiky skull. I think these from the Skull Crushers set as well, I think. As is this little component here. Lots of dead animal bits. Very nice. It's actually really hard to... I can't really fault these. These ones are really, really great work here. Swedsman. I actually never know if I pronounce your name. Is it Svedsman? Swedsman. I'm going to say Swedsman. Thank you very much. Also, my idea for a live stream. One day I hope to have the time and space to try kit bashing, but until then, I will enjoy your content for inspiration. Thank you very much. You are another one of my regular top patrons, so thank you very much, and thank you for your super chat as well. And definitely would like to see some of your work in the future. Yeah, I mean, I really can't fault these. If I was going to build something like this is exactly how I would go about it. Yeah, I like. Is that wood or is that brass? It's hard to say from here. This is a little seam here. Kind of looks like it's maybe like a wooden dowel, which is an interesting tech. I've never used like wooden components in my models. Maybe in the bases, but never actually in the models themselves. I just like looking. It's like a Where's Wally for kit bashes. You can just look at the models and be like, oh, where's that component come from? Where's that component come from? That's definitely Grey Knights, but is it the... I can't tell if it's the regular Grey Knights or it's the Terminators. I'm not sure. Shoulder pad there as well. That's from a Skull Crusher. That's definitely one from a Skull Crusher. We have a Black Templar Terminator shield there. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay, it's a spammer back, guys. Yeah, let me block them on YouTube. I tried to block one. Remove. Report. Report. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna... Is anyone in the chat? Let's just give Ben Ives as a moderator for this chat. There we go. Okay, Ben, that's your job now. You need to keep on top of these spams, but don't go just banning everyone, otherwise they'll get removed. Okay. Hey, people will see you do a gimmicky kill team of musicians. I mean, never know. You can never say never. There's always options for lots of other stuff in the future. I'm just having a quick break. Did I bring a water bottle? Yeah. Very nice indeed. Yeah, this is a really cracking work for this. It would work really well as a kill team as well. It has that really nice kind of vibe. This kind of small squad. Every person is an individual. And if you're building a full army of these as well, then definitely. I mean, I kind of have started it sort of. But I haven't really gotten anywhere with the Space Marine army that I was looking to create. So responses are coming nearly on 100 responses, so I'm definitely not going to get through everyone's on this stream. So I do apologize to everyone. That was Thomas Galliani, by the way, so thank you very much. Let's just mark that one. So next one is from Aaron, and this is... Okay. Bear with me, guys. Just trying to make sure that I get everyone. Blue Magician, I think you submitted something, I believe, but I'm not seeing it in my document. So if you could just maybe submit it again and just make sure you put your name as it is on YouTube in that thing, just to make sure I can see it, because it's not showing up in my document. So I don't want to miss you. Unless you've submitted it as a different name, then just let me know and I can have a look at that for you. Okay, let's get the next person, Aaron. Okay, so what do we have for this particular model here? Right. So when the new warpsmith model was revealed back in December, I decided to convert my own out to the Primaris Marine, the old warpsmith, and some spares laying around to fit in the word bearer's force. Okay, so this is both criticism and advice. Okay. So first of all, kudos on using some of those old warpsmith parts, because that model is very difficult to work with. It is in fine cast, I believe, or resin or something like that. So yeah, it's a very difficult material to work with. Having done that in the past myself, it's kind of very difficult to kind of get anywhere with it. It's very brittle. You can't really sculpt it. Also, I can see the Red Dwarf box sets in the back set, so straight away, thumbs up for that. Massive fan of Red Dwarf. So I can see that you've used some sculpting around the middle there, and it's kind of hard to see what it is you've gone for there. I mean, if you use it to fill something in, if you're creating some sort of like mutation, maybe it's not been painted yet. It's not very clear. It looks quite like, I suppose in a way it's making it look very Death Guardian. I'm not sure if that's what you're looking for with this conversion, but you've managed to incorporate the Macandrites, I believe they're called, and I believe this weapon's kind of like a bit of a mismatch of things. I think that's a Grey Knight hammer there that you've got going on. You've kind of attached it to the original Tech Marine arm, and I'm not 100% sure what this component comes from. Can't quite place that one. Maybe it's from the original one. And we've got the back here. So yeah, you've kind of you've used this, like, the green stuff to graft the stuff on. But yeah, this is all very difficult to do. Even if it's metal, I can't tell if this one's the metal one or if it's the resin one. But either way, it's very difficult to work with this material normally. So yeah, I would maybe just, I would say in terms of advice, try and avoid doing this kind of thing when you're using green stuff. You want to make everything sure that the green stuff is, in any putty really, you want to use as little as possible. You want to use, when I say little as possible, I don't mean in terms of quantity. You want to not rely on it too much unless you're like a professional sculptor, because it can be very difficult. I've used green stuff for years, and it's only in the last 2, maybe 3 years that I've actually found I can do more than just gap filling with it. So It's always good to try things out, and I can see that you've definitely gone. You've definitely given it a go here, especially the hood looks quite nice though. I think you've managed to get the thickness right. That's one thing I often see a lot of people get wrong with these kind of things, where they'll just kind of put a really flat piece of green stuff and it just doesn't work. You need the seam, because if that was a actual sculpted piece, then that would also have the screen as well. Go a little bit lighter on the glue as well, because this will just prevent any of these little crusty bits from appearing around these edges as well. So yeah, just keep those in mind. Cool. Okay, Blue the Magician, you just resubmitted. Let's see if we can get yours on the stream next. Let's grab the document and Blue the Magician, yes, we have you there. Let's just mark this as red, and then we are going to look at Blue the Magicians. Okay, so what we have here is a Emperor's Children warband leader with a Slaaneshi looking axe, and you are looking for both advice and criticism. I think you guys have been very very brave with this. I can imagine that obviously putting your work on a live stream like this, I mean, I don't know how many people are watching, I haven't checked the stream. Let's see. Yeah, we've got quite a few people. There's like 200 people watching this, and probably even more after the show. So props to anyone who submitted, definitely. I mean, for me, it's obviously, it's taken a while. I'm kind of used to it. I've been doing these kind of things for a long time. So putting your stuff out there and having someone actively look at it to criticize it and give you advice and things like that, it takes a lot of bravery. So anyone who submitted, thank you, first of all, because I won't have the stream without it. I'll just be looking at my models and criticizing them. And yeah, I think everyone should definitely give this a go. I think it's nice to kind of get your models out there. I mean, stuff that I've done in the past has been, I've been done some terrible stuff in the past, and probably if I can dig those old models out, then it'd be good to show those on there, just to show that everyone starts somewhere. But yeah, thank you to everyone who's submitted. So next up we have Blue the Magician. Let's see what you've got. Okay, so we have a mixture of what look to be, we have some Primaris parts here, some Gravis armor, we have some little claw bits, which I believe are from raptors, we have a Eldari cat, we have the chest from a Sanguinary Guard, or it's the upgrade sprue for the Blood Angels, and this axe here, which, wait, is that an Eldar axe? Is that a Wraith Guard axe, like one of the weapons there? We have a picture in the back as well. Yeah. Oh no, it's that's a Sylvaneth one. Yeah, it's one of the Tree Revenants, I believe. Definitely has some Slaaneshi vibes there. Yeah, there's quite a lot going on with this model. You've used quite a lot of different components. It looks like you sculpted the cloak as well. Again, this is one of those things that can be quite difficult, because if you're sculpting both the whole of the cloak, then you kind of having to do the textures on both sides, and sometimes that can be quite tricky to do. What I found personally, again, especially if you're looking to add textures to something, then you're better off sculpting the thing you want to sculpt first, and then add texture to it after it's dry, because then it creates that that volume, and you don't just like, you've got this like flat piece of material that's been added on. So yeah, I think if you were to attempt like a furry cloak in the future, then that's how I would do it. Maybe just do a thin layer for the actual fabric side, the inside, and then put the fur on top of that. You can really build it up then, and it will just look a lot more detailed. A few more little components here. Can't quite tell where they're from. They look like just grenades, but they look a little bit different because it's a little bit at the bottom. We have some heads there. This little kind of Emperor's Children flair that we've got going on there. Yeah, very nice. We've got this very nice Emperor's Children kind of vibe. Yeah, in terms of kind of advice and criticism, just the cloak there, just a few little things. Make sure you get rid of these seams here. It's one of those things where you have you can do a lot of work in the conversion, but if you just miss one seam, I've done it. I do it in my components, in my guides still. There's a few of them that you just be looking at and just like, I've spent so long looking at this model, I just miss that one seam. Or I forget to drill out a barrel, something like that. So it happens to everyone, don't worry. So the hand here is... I'm inclined to believe that that looks like the... that executioner guy from the Primaris one, the one I turned into a Black Templar, I can't remember what it is. Is it Judicia? Judicar? Something like that. But yeah, it's yeah, it definitely has that Emperor's Children vibe. If you were to say what kind of style you've got, obviously the head as well. But yeah, this definitely is one of those key things that you need to do in terms of. I think there's that an Eldar component. Is that from the Triumvirate kit, the same kit that this cat's from? But yeah, it has like it's yeah, Fulgrim has that, doesn't he? He has the sprayed kind of talon thing. Yeah, nice work. Good job on that one. Yeah, just oh, there we go. We've got a little. I think that's from the Raptors. It's basically what I use for, similar to what I use for my Marines. But yeah, I'd say maybe give the cloak another go. Maybe give it a practice on just like a test model, just to work on green stuff. Green stuff's always the hardest thing. You'll get to a stage with green stuff where you think, okay, I understand it now, but then up to that point, it'll be just very difficult. And yeah, keep trying. Cool. Right, who is next? Okay, right, let's stay hydrated. Next up, we have Farrago. What time are we on? We've done an hour and I've done 14. Actually, I haven't even done that because the top row is just the column headers, so I've done 13. Wow, this is gonna take a while. So I do apologize for everyone. I won't be hitting everyone's submission, especially if you submitted it in the last probably day or so, actually. So I do apologize again. If you have left me if you've done a super chat or you're a Patreon supporter or a YouTube member, then I will be giving you guys the priority here because you guys keep the lights on, so it's only fair. So if you do, then make sure you just make a note in that document. There's a little chat box at the bottom, and also just need to know your name just so I can verify it. Okay, we have a really nice conversion coming up, guys. I'm just opening up these images now. So this is kind of like a perfect example of what I mean when it comes to green stuff sculpting and how green stuff should be approached and when it should be approached. Oh, we even have a painted model as well. This is really nice. Farrago, let's have a look at your model. Look at this. This is lovely. What is this? What are you creating here? It looks really good. It's a Flesh Eater Course unit leader. It's just a unit leader. It's not even like an arch regent or anything like that. It's just a unit leader. So the painted model looks great as well. It gives you a really good idea. I mean, look at these bits here. I'm just thinking. So it looks like for this kind of crotch guard and these little bits here, I'm guessing that you've done some like blue putty. You've kind of created a template and then green stuff those and then apply them to model. If so, that's really nice use of those components. It makes having few components go a long way, especially these kind of flat components. And it's like orc face that you've got. That's really nice. Yeah, cloak on the back. You've got really nice texture in this as well. The stitching and these. This is one of the things that I always love to do. If you've got stitching, you need to have these kind of creases and folds, especially for something that's not been stitched very well. It's like a crude stitching. You're going to have where the fabric's pulled. It's not been put together very well. So yeah, really nice work on this one. And again, this is exactly what I'm saying with stuff like, if you can, try not to do too much with green stuff. Try and do as little as possible. This is really nice as well. Look at the straps on that. That's really nice work. But yeah, you just kind of done small little changes here. Most of it's plastic. You just use the green stuff just to reform and just to blend everything together. This little section here is really nice. This little kind of mask. This looks like a spider mask as well. Really good. Where is the... Just trying to see the cloak on the back. Okay, so yeah, you've got these little horns. I think they're from one of the slaughter priests, if I'm not mistaken. I guess that's where you've come from. And the basis just looks to be... Yeah, I think it's just one of the regular little fleshy quartz guys. Yeah, really nice work on that one. Just trying to get a good picture. So here, this is an example of how you should do the cloth. So you can't really see it in this picture, but you can just about see it in this one here. There we go. That's what I'm trying to find. So you see this kind of thick seam here. Normally, if the fabric was actually that thick on the model in real life, it would be about this thick. It just wouldn't be an actual thickness. But when you're kind of working with these kind of models and you're working in like a grimdark capacity, if that was an actual sculpted on component, it would be that thick. And you kind of need to think about that. If I was to grab I mean, I don't have anything to hand, but if I was to grab a Ogre Kingdoms model, the fabric on those are really thick. It's surprisingly how thick those kind of things are. But on the model itself, it looks fine because we're kind of used to seeing those overemphasized thicker seams. So yeah, really nice work there. Philippe Ferrego, yes, thank you very much for joining the stream and getting live criticism. But yeah, it's really nice work here. Yeah, I can't really fault the conversion. Really nice use of components. Very nice indeed. Good job. I think there's also a bit of reposing going on the leg here, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, quite nice. Martok, hey up Pete. Jonathan Hart from Patreon here. Keep up the amazing work, mate. Yes, you are another one I recognise the name of. So thank you very much for your support, and thank you for your submission on this channel. I do massively appreciate everyone who does support this. It just means that I can just kind of crack on with working on the conversions that I want to, and yeah, thank you very much, everyone. This is a nice little stream, isn't it? I'm quite enjoying this. The pressure's off me now. I don't have to like think of a conversion and get all my bits ready and kind of make sure it works well. And I can just kind of look at your guys and just criticize your work for an hour and a half. It's all good. Right. Okay. Next one. Who have we next? Let me find my document. Okay. So we have Russell. Russell just has the one image here. Let's bring that up. When it loads. Okay, cool. Let's bring this up here so everyone can see. And we have... Not a big fan of the Lucius model, so I made a Muriel Sabathian for my Emperor's Children. I made her on a 25mm base and then made a 40mm base extension to run as a Chaos Lord. That's a nice sword. It's like, I mean, this is quite, you kind of kept everything quite simple here. There's not really, I mean, I'm guessing this is the kind of the style in the background. I'm not familiar with the character. I'm guessing maybe is it a Chaos Sister, like a Fallen Sister, something like that. Nice use of dead animal bits around the bottom just for your like extender as well. Try and place where that sword's from. It looks quite old. It looks like one of the like an older Finecast something. It's hard to see. But yeah, it's kind of a very simple, straightforward conversion. I think sometimes that's all you need. You can do a lot with the paint job as well. Sometimes you can actually convert a model just by using the paint job and the components within its own kit. So yeah, definitely interesting. The only thing, it's hard. I'd probably maybe have gone a bit heavier on the chaos motifs personally. I mean, if you're trying to recreate a particular style or a particular artwork, if that's the artwork that's in the background, then I mean that's fine. But if you want, at the moment, it just kind of looks like a darker Sister of Battle. I think you've possibly removed some of the more obvious Sororitas iconography. I can't see any of that, the inquisitorial symbols there, so you've definitely kind of paid attention to that. And yeah, I would just maybe go a bit crazy with spikes, anything that's kind of obviously chaosy. That's the only place I would go from here. But otherwise, nice, simple, nice and effective. Cool. So we have a... That's Russell's. Let me just update this document just to make sure. I think Night 36, thank you very much. With the green stuff cloak, seeing how others do it helps me, and now I'll have to go back and fix my submission. Great stream, by the way. Thank you very much. No, I think it's like it's definitely, cloaks are one of those things where it's very difficult to do. I mean, if you notice on my side, I try not to use cloaks too much. They can be very difficult to get. You need to, the easiest way is to just look at the way Games Workshop make their cloaks and try and recreate that. Don't try and make a cloak yourself. Just replicate what Games Workshop do, because even if you don't make it the same, even if what you did is technically more realistic and the texture is the same and the thickness is the same, it might not look right because we're so used to seeing. I mean, this is a great example just on this. Let's just go back to this miniature here just so I can use it. If you look at this seam here, this inner seam of the cloth here, this was an actual, if this is an actual miniature, this seam here would be about as, it would be wider than your nose. I mean, there's not many people that have like cloth that they wear that's that thick. I mean, that's like armor. That's ridiculously thick. But on a model, it looks fine because we're used to that scale. We're used to having overemphasized details, and it just works. So, perfect example of a model in the wild. Okay, so let's get the next one up here. So we have a question here. This is an interesting one. Pete, do you see a kit bash as a conversion? So a lot of people have different opinions as what kit bash is and what conversion is, and some people say that one is one and one isn't the other. Personally, I think that a kit bash is just a specific type of a conversion. A conversion can be anything. It can be if you've taken a model and you have added bits from another kit, it's still a conversion. If you've just resculpted stuff, it's still a conversion. If you've just reposed a model, it's still a conversion. It's only a kit bash if you use parts from another kit, or you use parts that weren't in a way that wasn't intended. That's where I define a kit bash. So, for example, my quick bash video was just about a kit bash because I'd used a part from another kit. And similarly for my Tau battlesuit, I mean, if I hadn't added that sword, that wouldn't be a kit bash in my opinion. That would just be a conversion. So kit bash is kind of like a specific type of conversion. All kit bashes are conversions, but not all conversions are kit bashes, if that makes sense. Anyway. Okay, so let's... Oh, wow, 109 responses. Yeah, no way am I getting through all these tonight, guys. I think I'm going to run this stream again next week so we can really kind of blast through these. So let me just get these in. And so we have another submission from Forego here. Let's get you in again. So just so you know, guys, yeah, like I said, I am going through anyone who's a patron or YouTube channel member, or anyone who's donated to the stream. Just because, oh wow, this is really nice. This is a very nice. I just got the image up here. This is great. So this is another perfect example of how to do fabric with green stuff. It's kind of making me want to do a bit more fabric stuff as well. I can see exactly how you did it. Out of interest, sorry, I keep calling you Farigo, but you've got a different name actually on the stream. But anyway, I'm sure you're up here. So let's get this, enough talking. Let's get this up. Look at this. Kind of nice this looks. This is just kind of like the perfect. What I really like about Age of Sigmar and what I really like about the kind of fantasy that you kind of have this kind of combination of, it works really well for the canon. This guy is like, he's a vampire, but then he still has these slashed sleeves. And I have interest. I want to know, with this green stuff, it's a little bit light. It's something I've been meaning to try. Do you mix it with milliput, or do you mix it with a like another medium? Because I think it makes it a little bit harder. I've seen people mixing it with milliput to kind of get the best of both green stuff and milliput, the hardness of milliput, the workability and smoothness of green stuff. So yeah, but yeah, that looks really nice. I mean, the thing is, this is just, I've seen the painted one. Look at this. This looks amazing. That's really nice. I mean, at Skull Studio, I'm guessing that's an Instagram. I'm just going to open up on here. let's have a look. Skull Studio. There we go. You just got yourself a follow. Yeah, these are really nice. Even the painting looks really good, but you can see how much of a paint job can bring the model together. It doesn't look converted really. If you didn't know that was converted, having been familiar with Games Workshop product, I can be like, oh yeah, that's not a model. But I would easily say this would be some sort of miniature in some sort of third party grimdark carnival / 17th century game. It looks like an actual model, and that's always the dream. If you can make your model look like it was intended to be built that way, then in my opinion you've done a great job. So let's go back to the actual conversion here. So you can see you've sculpted the belt, you've sculpted the sleeves, we've got another blue stuff, the hat. That's really nice work, top-notch stuff there. David Harper, thank you very much. Haven't got my submission yet, but seeing all of these really inspires me to do more conversion. You guys are all awesome. Yeah, I totally agree. Everyone who kind of goes out there. The thing is about kit bashing it also requires a bit of bravery, because you've got to chop up bits. You've got to chop up expensive models to do stuff. Even green stuffing can be quite destructive, because if you start modifying stuff and you're getting bits of green stuff, it can be quite difficult to get off later on. So well done. Philippe mixed it with magic sculpt. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. It's one of the things I've been trying to do a bit more with sculpting, so I'm definitely going to keep it in mind for the future and maybe give that a go. Yeah, I always get this word wrong. Is it Landsknecht? Landsknecht? Vampire, definitely. Vampire dandelion, yeah, definitely. Very, very nice indeed. Really nice. Cruelty, yes. This is Philippe in the chat, so definitely props to you. Okay, on the topic of destroying models, what is your take on fully 3D model custom prints? What do you mean? Like actually someone who's 3D modeled them themselves, or getting 3D prints from elsewhere? I'm going to throw that question out there and move on, because I'm just conscious of the time, and I do want to get as many people, not everyone, but as many people as possible done here. But yeah, great work there, Philippe. Right, next up we have I'll take that off. We have Jonathan Hart. Okay. Just in case that I've missed anyone, because obviously there's just quite a few names flying around here. So if you have super chatted me and I haven't featured your item yet, and you've already submitted it, then submit it again and just make sure you tick the patron or YouTube member. I probably should extend it, or you've super chatted or something like that, because I wasn't really thinking of the future. So I just don't want to make sure that if you super chatted to have your stuff submitted and I miss it, then I want to make sure that I at least get all those done. So let's get this next one up here. Jonathan Hart. Let's get your models on the screen. Oh, one more. Okay. So we have a Lord Zuffa conversion from, is it Abaddon or Abaddon? I don't think I've actually heard anyone say it, or if I have heard her say it, I can't really remember what it is. Is it Abaddon or Abaddon? I'm sure some people would probably hear that exactly the same way. Okay. Let's get this on the screen. Okay, cool. Very nice. We have, so this model straight away, the despoiler, I'm just going to call him that because I know that's how that name is pronounced. The despoiler model is a really nice base kit to work from, and you can kind of do some really simple things with him, and it still looks really well because he has such a dynamic pose. You can swap out his weapons and give him something else. You can see here, to the point actually where I know there's definitely some differences. I think you've swapped out the head. The axe is definitely a different axe, and I like this little skull here that you've kind of used as a spacer between the hand and the weapon itself. This chain X is really nice. I think the claw is the original piece. That's the same as regular, but I think this head's different. Chain around, look at that. Chain and all these skulls. You guys really know how to tick all my boxes. Just put skulls on the model, Mark III components, that's all you need. Yeah, and I think the thing is, you with this kind of thing, when the only problem with using these models as your basis is you have to distance the model enough from the original. Now, it really depends, because you kind of start getting into the territory of if it depends how you're fielding this model. If you're fielding this model as a Chaos Lord, then you need to make sure that what you've created is different enough from the original model so that people don't get confused. And this is something that I've always never really worried about too much. I did a little bit more so when I did my Nurglneth army. I wanted to make sure that everything in that army, whilst it was heavily converted, was still easily recognizable as the model that it should be on the table, because I was intending to play with that army. If you're just using an army as a... Oh, I've got such terrible posture. If you're using an army as a different model than the miniature you base it off, you need to make sure that it's clear, especially if there's... Like in this case, someone could be like, oh, is that... the spoiler, or is that a Chaos Lord? You can, obviously, most people will be fine. Most people will just be like, oh, that's a Chaos Lord. That is the actual character model. Most people will be fine, but it's just something to think about when you're converting. But yeah, really nice kind of work here. I would say that the only thing that I probably would have changed is I maybe would have gone for a different trophy. If I remember right, this is the original trophy. I probably would have gone something different, because this will change the silhouette of the model. The axe is already doing like a good job of changing that silhouette. But I think that trophy rack at the back, if you could have found like something else to put there, maybe a different like banner or something like that, that would have really set that model apart from the originals. But other than that, good nice little kit bash work. Not everything needs green stuff, but it's all good to see these nice clean cuts and little skulls as well. Very good. Okay. So I think I've come to the end of my Patreon list on here. I'm just going to do one more refresh, just in case anyone has submitted in the time that I've been doing this. And then after that, we're going to be starting to the next, only like 84 that I've got to get through. Definitely not doing it today. So yeah, I'll probably do that. I mean, if this time is okay for everyone, then I would prefer to do it on a Wednesday. But if people, I know in the US it's probably about kind of like it's about 2-3 o'clock, something like that in some places. So that might be a little bit too early to have on a Wednesday, just for most people, especially most of my audience is from the US, and then the other majority is from the UK, and then it's Europe. So this time works well for the Europeans, maybe not so much for the Americans. So maybe a weekend time will work better. So just give me a little bit of feedback on that. I would appreciate it. Okay, let me just load this up again. 112 responses. I think I've probably got about 4 weeks worth here. This is really going to keep me going. So if you've already submitted and I don't get to see you, don't get around to seeing your stuff today, don't worry, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the original form open, and I'm going to keep the original list open of people that I've already covered, and next time then I can actually work on that. Okay, so we actually got a couple more that have popped up, so let's just do those quickly before the stream. First of all, we have David Harper. Is David Harper the name of the dad from my family? I know the family are called the Harpers, but is the dad called David? A little bit of that was a good first picture to pick up on. Let me just word wrap these because it's very difficult to format these. Okay. Oh no! Oh, Ben Harper. That's it. It's Ben Harper. Someone else just said Ben Harper. David Harper. I know. I didn't assume that you copied off the name. It was just one of those little kind of brain worm things that you just kind of start thinking about. Like Harper. It's Ben. It's Ben Harper, isn't it? So yeah. My God, this honestly, the form submission, it really doesn't. It just literally just dumps. Sometimes it'll hyperlink the document, and other times it just totally ignores it, and I have to manually copy and paste the links in here. Maybe if I was a little bit more forward thinking, I could actually do this before everything. And oh wow, this is like true kind of. This is like hardcore kit bashing that we've got coming up here. It's not something that I've done personally, but this is like how you properly this is like traditional kit bashing. In one of the images isn't loading, I'm not sure why. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a couple of like the smaller images first, and then I'll show you the full image just so you can get the full appearance of it. Okay, so first of all we have a squig holding onto the tailpipe of a vehicle, and we have an orc sat inside of a vehicle, and then we have a turret mounted to the top, and then if we bring that all together, we have the mystery machine from Scooby-Doo into a looted truck. I mean, they definitely would loot that mystery machine, and they definitely would put a machine gun in the passenger side window. So yeah, yeah. You've even gone to the trouble of actually changing the wheels as well for the orc truck wheel. So yeah, kudos on that one. So this is like true kit bashing, where you're actually using kits from other things that aren't even from the universe that you're kit bashing with. You're taking components from military kits. You're taking components from just like anything you can get your hands on. So yeah, really nice kind of creative use of other components, and nice little fun conversion as well. Not everything has to be super serious. Not everything has to be super in universe, especially when it comes to orcs as well. So yeah. Is that Zonk or Zoik? What says? I can't quite read what it says there. A little bit blurry, but yeah. Oh, I've only just noticed you've painted it in the pattern of Scooby-Doo as well. It's amazing. Really nice work there. So I'm guessing, just kind of interested here, this squig is this like a full squig, or have you? It's hard to tell from this, but I'm not sure if some of these bits have been sculpted. It's quite hard to tell. Yeah, can't fault that. It's a good conversion. I mean, you've set out to do exactly what you wanted to do. You've got this nice jacket. The only thing, I mean, if I was going to be nitpicky, which let's face it, I'm going to be, it would just be clean up. Just do a little bit of clean up on these edges, using like a nice knife and just sharpen it. I know you've gone for this jagged effect, but these little bits here, this is always the bane of my existence. I hate these there's where you've not quite cut away everything. It's the only thing I'm going to say. Just clean those up, and yeah, very good. The only thing, actually, no, another criticism that I've got, and I'm really nitpicking here, is I can tell who that is. I can tell it's Scooby-Doo, and I think this is maybe Shaggy based on his color. But I mean, why is this not like Fred or Daphne or Velma or something? You missed an opportunity. I mean, maybe this is them, actually. I can't tell. This maybe is the red hair of Daphne, but anyway. Oh, see you later, Kabuski. I did think I see a message for you. I was just in the middle of a conversation, so I kind of, but yeah. Kabuski, I would definitely recommend checking out on Instagram. There's some really nice like digibashes, so it's actually a really great source of inspiration. I've taken some ideas from them as well. Which one's Velma? Is this one Velma? Okay. It's hard to say. Maybe it's hard to see by the what's saying, but I can't. Oh, here, well, there we go. This one's loaded as well. There we go. Really nice work. Very, very good job. Very kind of like nice little fun conversion there. Not everything has to be serious. Sometimes we can just do stuff for fun. So next up we have My Shield is Discussed. Let's get that sorted. Right. Okay, so the problem is, My Shield is Discussed. It seems that the link, you haven't uploaded an image. it's either not. Oh, here we go. No, they come through from Instagram. Okay, cool. Bear with me. Let me just get these up. And these are the videos, of course. There we go. I do remember you saying now. Let's get these up. Got some nice spinny shots here. Let me just clear off all my notifications because I just look like I don't ever go on Instagram, and I do go on Instagram. Okay. Let's switch this over. Some nice little spinny shots of Yunari aligned Lilith Hesperax, Succubus and Uverine conversions with Daughters of Khaine theme. So we've got 3 different ones here. Okay, yeah. So you've really kind of gone into. I mean, you can see some of these other stuff down at the bottom as well. So I mean, anyone who wants to check these out themselves, maybe a bit better, then just head over to this. I'll just pop this in here so you can just copy and paste it. I'm guessing it'll be at. Okay. Yeah, really nice. I think this is the Morathi model, the little mini Morathi that you've used as a basis. Quite a nice little difference. It's still recognizable as being Yvraine, but but the fact that you've kind of used the head and you've used the cat, and those are iconic enough, and you've kept the same base size. This is what I'm saying. If you want to do stuff which is like these kind of conversions, you need to be wary of what they look like and making sure that people know what they are on the tabletop. And this is a perfect example of that. Very good work there. So I'm guessing this is there, the Drukhari Succubus. I'm guessing you used some of the Daughters of Khaine witch elves for this one. Yeah, really nice work there. Really nice, clean work. Again, this is kind of what I'm saying. The best conversions are always the ones where it doesn't look like they're a conversion. If you know what the components are, obviously you can tell what they are. But this is Lilith Hesperax. If I remember correctly, who is that name? Lilith Hesperax. Okay, yeah, so she's the character that came out with that box set that came with the Banshees, and she's the Drukhari character. So yeah, really nice work on those. It's actually, what are these? I'm gonna kind of skip ahead to these as well. Oh, these are really nice. These little kind of like what are they called now? Oh, windsurfing, that little windsurfing boards. It's a nice use of them because you kind of got them standing up. Oh yeah, really inventive use there. And these are the sales from the actual, like the Ravager things, aren't they? The little floaty things. And I think you get quite a few of those in that kit, so it's a good use of them. Nice work. Yeah, so if you, oh, here we go. Let's look at this one as well. Look at that. That's a nice little discordant. Is that an old, what's the word for them? Berserkers. Yeah, it's one of the old berserker heads. Very nice indeed. Okay, I could go down this rabbit hole. I'll have a look at this in my own time later on, but really nice conversion work. Really kind of interesting use of components. Some of them are just like simple enough, but then they're effective enough to be different from the result. And I think I always admire those kind of like effectiveness in simplicity conversions. So definitely great work there. Joseph Underwood, thank you very much. Love the content. If you want to see how to do Tavar's cloaks with green stuff, Last Light Creative has some really useful tutorials. I just to double check who that is because I think I was looking at those. Last Light Creative. Oh yeah, I think I've actually I can see some of the bits where I've had a look on these in the past. Yeah, definitely check out Last Light Creative. They have a lot of like really nice green stuff. They have an Usan Ursa, Lord of the Space Bears conversion. Looks really nice. I think that was maybe the one that they did with Tabletop Time, if I remember rightly. Maybe not. Okay, so right, we had another. Right, let's. Was that all of the Patreon submissions? I think it was. I'm just going to do one last check before I move on because I did promise that I would do everyone else's first. 115 responses we're up to now, guys. Okay, right. Okay, so we finally just got through the patrons and everyone who's been kind enough to submit. So we're going to go for... I'm going to do at least one person now. So what time is it? 20:39. So let's go for... Let's just do one more. And then we'll call it there. We'll call it a day. It's a nice little... Ethan, you were the first person to submit. So you can have the honor of going last today. Yeah, definitely going to be doing more of these. So, picture's a little bit dark here, so hopefully you guys can see this okay. So we have a dreadnought here. So one of the things I would recommend doing as well, guys, just whilst I'm on the topic, is if you want to take pictures, then there's some actually really nice. I think Games Workshop got a really nice and useful guide for doing pictures of your models. The clearer it is, the more I can see the model, the more I can kind of see how it looks, and just make sure your lighting is good and you have like a clear backdrop, maybe like just an A4 piece of paper is often enough, and you can use your phone for doing that as well. So yeah, so here we have Ethan's submission, the last submission of the evening, and we have a second dreadnought for the army, and I thought it was cool to add a servitor playing an organ on his back. So I'm guessing that's where the servitor is. I can't quite see it in the picture. Oh no, there it is. Okay, so it looks like we've used some plastic piping here at the back. We've got some candles. Looks sculpted on as well, actually. It's hard to see with it being black and the picture's not great quality, but I like the idea of having this really grim, dark appearance of having the servitors playing an organ on the back of a dreadnought. It's definitely got some vibes here for the Adeptus Sororitas, I can't remember, the big kind of organ that fires the rockets at the top. Yeah, I think it's a classic dreadnought as well, if I'm not mistaken. The old plastic one, top by the base. So yeah, I think it's hard to say, so I can't really give too much feedback on this one. I can't really see a lot of the details. So yeah, just maybe give this another go with a photo. Definitely submit it again with maybe some clearer photos, and I can probably see a bit more details. But apart from that, I really like the idea. Like what you've gone for. Definitely in fitting with the theme. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. Thank you very much for everyone who has joined the stream. Massively grateful for everyone who submitted, because the stream wouldn't have been possible unless some people actually went ahead and submitted stuff. And I think we're gonna go, and I mean I wasn't gonna say who was my favourite, but I think we all know. Let's get this open. Bear with me. Wrong picture. We'll get that. We'll get that. There you go. So there we go. We're back on this one. It's definitely my top pick of the stream. I'm going to have that. It's 5 out of 5 dead animal bits on this model. Really nice work. Really nice kind of straightforward conversion. You've definitely got the theme there. Excellent sculpting work and painting as well. I wasn't really going to comment too much on the painting, but the painting is excellent. You've got like nice contrast between the really bright colors and the really kind of dark and pallid colors on the actual model itself. Creates that really nice disparity between the brightness and the evilness and things like that. So yeah, thank you very much for everyone's submissions. I do apologize if I've not been able to hit your submissions in the stream. I will be doing another one next week, hopefully. So continue to submit. I will continue to remind everyone. I have a list of everyone who has submitted already. So if I'm just going to go through everything chronologically. So hopefully I can whittle my way down that list eventually. So I will get there in the end, I promise. And yeah, thank you everyone who has super chatted, everyone who has thrown some money my way. Massively appreciated it. It's always nice when you guys think that your hard-earned money is I'm deserving of it. So thank you very much. Where's the chat? I've lost the chat. Cool. yeah, thank you very much, guys. As always, make sure you, if you're enjoying this and you're not subscribed, then please do subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure you like it. I have a Discord server as well that usually kind of lights up when I've done a stream, because I usually mention it. Let's, can I get the invite in up in here? Okay, I'm going to drop this in the chat. So this is Discord. It's not like locked behind like Patreon subscriptions or anything like that. Anyone can join. If you are a patron, then there is a special area. If you're also a YouTube channel member, I can't do it automatically, but if you are, just drop me a message on there. Just let me know what your screen name is, and I'll put you in the little special patron supporters group as well. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining the stream, and I hope you have a great evening. I know I've really enjoyed just going through your work, and until next time, thanks for watching, and goodbye.